And that's how I ended up meeting Hall & Oates. Oh, hang on. There's someone at the door. I'll call you right back. Right, thanks.
Did you pay your rent, brother?
We have just received a package. And we're going to see what we can do with this package in our mission to help save general aviation from itself or ourselves. And this package is going to transform the way that I do things and make things right here on the open source GA channel. So let's go and see what we can do with this package.
Okay, but first, some history. You don't know this because you don't subscribe to the channel, so you won't get all the videos on the channel. One of my subscribers actually sent me this package with a lens in it. I took the lens, I 3D scanned it, and then I turned it into a model to ensure that it would fit on my subscriber's hypothetical airplane. It's actually an academic exercise, so there is no airplane. Anyways, this lens was not in good shape, but I was able to get that model 3D printed on a regular FDM printer, and then now I ordered it. But since I ordered it, the shipping didn't work out, and then I had to take things into my own hands to solve my own problem. There is your recap. Thanks, bye.
Okay, it's taken me entirely too long just to open a box, so yet again, this thing is addressed to Fragile, and I have no idea who that is, but I'm glad their packages keep making its way, or making their way, to us. Let me unbox this and show you what we have got for us here on the open source GA channel. Be right back. What you're looking at here is the Elegoo Elegoo Saturn. What is this thing called? This is the Elegoo Saturn 4 Ultra 14 or 16K 3D printer. This goes in the trash. I'm not gonna sit there and read all of that stuff right now. I just want to get this opened up to show you what we are dealing with. All this is just packing foam, it seems. I'm going to be really careful and remove all this stuff. And then we have more foam, and we gotta get some tools to undo all of this, but it doesn't look like a normal 3D printer that some of you might be used to. This is actually a resin 3D printer. So you put resin down into that vat here. This head moves up and down. It moves down into the vat. There's an LCD, a screen in there that shines a UV light that hardens the resin. The head moves out of the way. The tray tilts out of the way. And layer by layer, you can 3D print stuff out of resin. The reason that this is so important to our channel right now is I ordered some 3D printed clear lens parts, and they are stuck in shipping somewhere in the world. They have not moved in 4 or 5 days. Actually, it's been more than that. It's more like a week and a half. And so instead of waiting for them and hypothetically grounding an airplane, I took matters into my own hands to see if I could do my own resin 3D printing of clear things. I also have a clear resin that I'll be using with this machine here in a little bit once we get it set up, and we will see how we get on with that. But I've got to undo these 2 screws here, get the vat out of the way, take off the tape, and calibrate this thing and see how she works. So I'll check in with you shortly. Okay, now this is the vat. So this is where the resin will go. You'll just pour resin into that vat. There is a very tight film. You can almost hear the drumming sound. It's a very tight film under there that holds the resin in and allows stuff to be printed magically on this. Let's remove that clear tape. Here's also clear tape here. And before I turn it on, I'm going to put you guys down and double scan the instructions to be sure I'm not doing something stupid. But that will eventually go here, like so. All right, so as always, we are a channel of solutions. I had a problem, I'm trying to find a solution. My problem is the part that I want is stuck in shipping, and the world's a weird place. So I took that into my own hands and bought that machine right there over my shoulder. Don't pay attention to the box and the mess in this room, as well as the sewing machine. That's a Juki sewing machine behind me. Can I use it? Yes. Have I used it in a while? No. Am I doing upholstery on my own? No, maybe one day, but not right now. Today is about this 3D printer. And so that 3D printer was maybe $400, $500 on Amazon. I bought it yesterday and it just showed up on my front step today. Thanks, Amazon. Consumerism at its finest. But it's gonna allow me to power it up, put some resin in, and then try to get a print off before the end of today for a problem that we've been trying to solve with a hypothetical airplane part. It could be experimental, could be certified, does not matter, but this is a tool that will help me get hopefully a functional part that we can stress test, put out in the sun, put on the top of my car and drive it around for a week, leave it in the rain, leave it in the sun, put it in an oven at 125 degrees and see how it does. That's the plan, and I'm just gonna execute that plan. Now, I'm glad that you're following along. You realize I haven't talked about how am I gonna get it certified and get it approved to be put on an airplane and all this stuff. One step at a time. There's a time and place for everything, and the time and place today is to figure out how to get this machine running to try to make the part that I need. Now, the certification bit, because I am doing all this work as an owner, this counts along the pathway to me trying to figure out how to convince my IA or my local FSDO or ACO, Aircraft Certification Office, of allowing me to put new or certified or uncertified parts in an airplane. All of the work I'm doing right now is going to have to be documented, cataloged, and then I will have to prove to that team of folks, ANP, IA, DER, whoever, that I know what I'm talking about and the part is suitable for the job. It won't affect the way that the aircraft flies or handles, and we can do some documentation to figure out how to maintain it, how to clean it, repair it, when to inspect it. All that stuff is at some other time. Right now, let's get the tools working. You're not seeing magic here. I just got the box. You saw me sitting outside. I just set it up. Let's go to the computer, try to see if we can push a part to this 3D printer, just like that.
Okay, this is a free version of a software called Lychee Slicer. The 3D printer itself doesn't come with its own proprietary software, so this is a free slicer. It takes the model, which is what you're seeing here, that blue part, and it turns it into slices that the 3D printer can read. It's also adding these things called supports. So you're seeing like these tower structures. It is supporting the overhangs. So the top part of the print, if you keep it in resin as it's printing before it's hardened, before you cure it, it will sag and this whole thing will deform. So it's putting supports. Now these supports are going to add little dots where they touch the actual print, but that's okay. We'll smooth those out later, or we'll just live with them because they're so inconsequential to how transparent the print's going to be. So that's the software. After we go here, we will send it to the printer wirelessly and it will just start printing. This print's probably going to take something like 5, 6, 7 hours. So I'll leave it to run overnight. And usually that's when things fail, but I will get up in about 3 hours, brush my teeth, and then check the quality of the print through the webcam on this thing. I'm currently printing something, so you can see the webcam up here in the top left corner. I've got something, the same file I'm printing again, it's at 21%. So yeah, let's see how we make out later. This next part blew my mind. Take a look. It's almost like magic.
Don't mind the fact that this is my laundry room. I literally have no space to do anything in my house. This is my dryer. This is the washing machine. Anyways, what you're seeing here looks like it's a irradiated, or a radiating source of nuclear physics, but it really is a clear resin lens. And it doesn't look clear right now. It looks a little bit frosty. It's because it needs to be post-processed after 3D printing. No matter how good your 3D printer is, it's still going to have this frosty surface. What I'm doing right now is blasting it on the inside with UV light. Those lights, LEDs that you see in the background, are just a UV light source, just like what the sun would provide. And we're going to spin this on this table for, 15, 20 minutes. And that UV light will cure the resin that is on this part. After that is done, I'll pull this part out, and then I have to figure out how to post-process it. I've got a couple options. I can brush the resin onto itself, so wet resin onto this, and then cure it so that that wet resin essentially smooths out all the print lines that you are seeing. The fuzziness is because, the haziness is because of the print lines in the material. I can brush that resin onto it and then cure it with a flashlight, or cure it in this same box right now. Or, and we're not sponsored by the laundry detergent. I can brush that stuff onto it, smooth it out, because the brush strokes will self-level, and the resin will fall into the very microscopic layer lines. We're printing at 50 microns here, I believe. I'm not entirely sure, but really, really fine. And once you cure it and hit it with a UV light source, that top layer will glass over and fill in all those voids, and this will become clearer. The other option we have is to go to the, let's say the Home Depot, and buy a spray, like a urethane or an enamel of some sort. I can't remember exactly what I was thinking, but a clear spray of some sort, and spray this whole thing and lock it into place. It will shine up. Another option is potentially to put it under a buffing wheel and see if we can get out some of the fine lines from the 3D printing in a buffing wheel. And then finally, we can use like an automotive 2K clear coat, which would probably be the best idea, and spray paint it with a 2K clear and see if that gets rid of the haziness. I don't know which version of this I'm going to try, but one of them should work. But yeah, here's where we are. There is a part. I can hold it, I can rub it, I can manipulate it, and you can see my fingers through it, although it's not very clear. I have to post-process this part using either paint or more resin to get rid of the very fine layer lines. It's almost as if you sanded this material. If you sand this wing right now with 600, 800, 1,000 grit sandpaper, it will go milky. It's the same thing that's happening to this part. Now, I use that bottle of water and just splash some water on it, and as I'm moving the water around, I can see areas where that water is acting like paint or coating and filling in those sand marks, and it goes shiny or glossy for a minute, and then it goes back to being translucent. So I know I'm onto something, and this is going to require a little bit more post-processing. So we're not 100% there, but we're really close. I can actually see through this part. Now, in terms of size, I think we absolutely nailed it. If I put this over one of the existing lenses, it's exactly the same size. If I put it over our test piece, it's also exactly the same size, because it should be. So that's good news. We just have to figure out how to get this from being milky, or like this, to being clear, like that. And that's going to be in a future episode. We're going to try a few different things and see if we can even get there. If we can't, then this project's probably dead in the water for being able to do it at home. But if we can, I think we'd be on to something. So stick around, see where this project goes. We'll catch you next time.